In Ethiopia, there are more than 5.5 million orphans. Famine is one of the causes. Second, war, rebellion, disease, HIV, AIDS, paternal and maternity, the factors that produced such high number of orphans in Ethiopia, and who are the most vulnerable for hunger, illiteracy, sickness, abuse, attack, and neglect. And these children need a safe haven where they can be sheltered, where they can get food, shelter, clothes, shoes, health services, education, and psychological support, emotional support, social support. And this place is meant to provide all these necessary things for them. New Hope is a local indigenous institution which was set up to be a safe haven for the most wandering creatures of the earth, the orphans and children with disabilities who have nowhere to go. I began everything from my own experience that I passed through. The first thing is that I am a person with a disability, and the second one is I grew up as an orphan. January 27, 1981, around 9 o'clock in the morning, I sustained an accident. My cousin collected people who can help him to cut down a big eucalyptus tree. I wanted to see how that tree was falling down. So they tied it and they tried to pull it away while they were cutting. But because the tree was big, they couldn't manage to hold it to fall to the intended direction. Rather, it came to me and it fell down on me. So my right leg was broken and my right hand was completely out of use. When they picked up the tree, they found that my heart and my lungs stopped working. Yeah, they thought I was dead. A year later, my father died. Around 1983 that my father passed away. So in 1984 and 1985, the famine came. So Ethiopia was hit by a famine plague. So my mother tried to feed us while she herself was hungry. My mother called me and asked me to go at a distant place where there was an aid, at least a small amount of aid, if we can get some grains, some food to bring back home. So I went there. I tried to be selected. The first day, I was not successful. The second day, I was not successful. On the third day, I myself collapsed. So I was picked. There they provided me medication, glucose, and so on. After 6 days, I became well, and I wanted to go back to my home to check if my mother and my sisters were alive. So I told to the nurse that she was taking care of me, and I told I said to her, I wanted to go back home. And she said, why? I told her the situation, why I was there. So she brought a bag of boiled cooked wheat and some other biscuits and to take me to home. So I was wondering what God will show me when I arrived there. So I went back home and found out that there was no sound in our house, because I arrived when when it was dark. So I called my mother and she never responded. I called my sister, she never responded. So I went in to the house and found all of them were gone. Because of the famine, as a child, I was the only survived child, so I have to bury them. I have to stand near their grave to witness their burial. It was horrible. I grieved for many months after their passing away. I grew up as an orphan, as a person with disability. I passed through many difficulties and troubles. I struggled an uphill journey to be here. And from there, I went to Addis Ababa University to learn international relations and political science. After 4 years of education, I graduated in 1991. The Minister of Foreign Affairs offered us a job, but I declined that job and started this orphanage to help children who have the same background. Because children with disabilities are suffering and undergoing painful experience in the absence of shelter, food, clothing, education, health services. And because of this, I decided to set up this orphanage and the school to help orphans and children with disabilities. Habtamu is a boy with disability, and his disability is ulnar dymalia, which is a congenital deformity, physical deformity that he got it from his birth. So after he was birthed, people saw that Habtamu's parents were cursed by God, so people discriminated them, outcast them because of this disabled boy. So they were hiding him for 5 years before they brought him to the orphanage. So Habtamu, because of Habtamu, the parents themselves were rejected, were social pariah, were discriminated, and were considered as cursed by God. So this boy had no chance to get education, to get his future in the community. So this place has offered Habtamu from being hid in a place where he was not seen by anyone. So now he has gotten educational opportunity here, and he is being provided with all basic necessities. In addition to the basic necessities that he's getting, he is also provided with emotional, psychosocial support and other spiritual service support. So he is growing, he's being mentally, physically, socially, and emotionally prospering here in this orphanage. So there are thousands of children who are like Habtamu, who want safe haven, who want education. Unless these kids get such kind of service, they have no future. Their future will be, if they are lucky, if they escape death, their future will be begging in the street. So to save these kids from being in the street in the future, and to save these kids from death, from mortality, we have to provide them the service that they need to grow up as men and women. My hope and my prayer for the children who are growing up here in the orphanage is to finish their education and to have their own family just like me. I always tell the kids here in our orphanage, if I can do, you can do it too. Do not allow your disability, your circumstance, your situation hinder you from achieving what you want.
Hi, I'm Melissa Moore, Marketing Manager at Child Impact International. And I'm Amanda Anchetta Reinhardt, a school counselor. And just in case you didn't figure it out yet, we're twins. I came across a sponsorship profile of a girl in Zambia whose first name was very similar to mine, and I took note of this child. A few pages later, I saw another girl with the same last name and birth date who was looking for a sponsor. I confirmed with the principal that there wasn't a misprint, these girls were twins. I immediately felt that this was God's way of encouraging me to sponsor and invite Amanda to sponsor as well, doubling the number of sponsored children that day. Melissa called me right away and told me a little bit about these two special young ladies. Many girls in their community feel like they have no other option but to sell themselves in order to put food on the table for their families. Sponsorship changes all of that. Education becomes a path out of generational poverty and provides hope for a brighter future. You have just watched a video of one of our newest partnerships, the New Hope School and Orphanage in Ethiopia. One of the reasons we are so passionate about this partnership is their focus on serving children with disabilities. Having a disability increases the likelihood of human trafficking 5-fold. These children are vulnerable because traffickers think their disabilities make them less credible, that no one would believe a child reporting their exploitation. Ethiopia is a major corridor of trafficking across country borders and into South Africa. The work of the New Hope School and Orphanage is a critical response to provide safety and an education for these vulnerable children. I'd like to invite you to become part of the sponsorship program at Child Impact International. I invited my mother and my mother-in-law to support Child Impact, and now they have also become new sponsors. Within the same week, my father-in-law became a sponsor too. Would you prayerfully explore if sponsorship is one way God is calling you to care for these precious and vulnerable children? You can find children hoping for the life-transforming gift of sponsorship on our website at childimpact.org. Click on Sponsor. Or you can call our office at 423-910-0667. If you are already a sponsor, perhaps you can share your sponsorship experience with someone else. You could double your impact by inviting a sister, a cousin, a parent, or friend to join you in sponsorship. Thank you, and may God bless.